Hello and welcome to the second episode of the podcast brought to you by MG Science Institute. Today we are hosting the President of Data and AI at Prowess, Mr. Rahul Nawab sir, who comes with 2 decades of experience in the field. Sir is an inspiring leader in the world of data science. In conversation with Dr. Shriram Nerlekar sir, the Academic Director of Ahmedabad Education Society, an inspiring leader who champions leadership in academic excellence and management. So, let us dive into the discussion with Dr. Shriram sir and Mr. Rahul Nawab sir.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we have today with us very accomplished and well-known personality and professional in the field of IT and data science. I heartily welcome Mr. Rahul Nawab.
Thank you.
Mr. Nawab, welcome on this podcast. And sincere thanks to you for sparing your valuable time, adjusting your trip to the US and, being here for this podcast. It means a lot for us, so thank you. Friends, we know maybe 40 years ago, raw material for any business used to be something different. But now this is the time when data has become raw material for any business. May it be the business in manufacturing sector or in service sector, may it be domestic, may it be export, may it be consultancy, may it be any functional field including marketing, finance and HR and logistics and whatnot. Data is everything. And so the field of data science has captured humongous momentum, particularly in last 5 to 6 years. And today we have with us Mr. Rahul Nawab, who is an expert in this field, to share his thoughts and experiences on your career in data sciences. So Rahul sir, हम लोग इस पूरे पॉडकास्ट में इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन प्रेफर करेंगे so that more and more viewers can get connected to that. So would you please tell our viewers that what is the field in general of this data science?
Sure. So data science is, in a simplistic way, I would classify it in 3 different dimensions. The first part is organizing the data and capturing the data. That is all about going after any and all data elements. You mentioned so many different sectors, whether it be manufacturing, services, finance, marketing. There are so many minute data elements that you need to capture, organize. And that entire area is about engineering of the data. So we used to do engineering, mechanical, chemical engineering. There is this whole science of data engineering, right? You have to set up the data properly to make it ready for analysis. The second part is you are now using the data to create views and sort of learn and get some insights out of it. So what you are trying to do there is build, you have Excel, you have Tableau, you have so many different visualization tools. And that area is also very meaningful and very important. You have all the data, now you need to visualize it, you need to see what's happening with the data. The third, I think the most important part, is now that you know you have data, you have some visualization, there is a graph, one line is higher than the other, so what? And what do you do next after it? What is the strategic implication of all the data that you've collected, captured, viewed? How do you drive the business forward? This entire field is, in my mind, in these 3 elements. And the way I think about it is, there is the data of what, so what, and what next, right? You're essentially getting the data organized and just seeing what it is, thinking about so what. Most important is what next. How do you take that data, drive your business forward? Because everybody knows that you can predict, some people have done studies of predicting what people buy together. It's usually beer and diapers. Because that's in the US, that's what they were saying. Now, this is what you have to figure out, right? I mean, what are you trying to predict and how can you use that insight to make sure you're organizing your retail or whatever it is together.
Fantastic. So beautifully you explained, sir. It is basically A, capturing the data, B, visualizing the data, and 3, driving the business decisions based on the data visualizations. Very, very simply you explained. The point now that comes to my mind, when we talk about capturing the data, it's obviously through various, data points, data sources, databases. Visualization. What tools are generally used in case of visualization? A student who may be just passing out at the 12th standard level, can you explain to that student that, generally to visualize the data or, to carry on this process of data visualization, what exactly goes into?
Absolutely. I mean, visualization has, in my mind, about 2 or 3 critical elements. The first is understanding what data is out there. There are tools that will help you figure out, here's everything that you have collected. It's a universe, it's an ocean. Right now, from that ocean, you have to figure out, this is the island I really want to go after. And then paint a picture of that island. That's your visualization. You have Excel to do that. Excel is extremely powerful nowadays. They have built so many internal tools that actually help you visualize a lot better. And then for advanced visualization and business intelligence reporting, there is Tableau, MicroStrategy, a bunch of other tools. But the important part for someone who is just trying to decide whether this is the field for them, what usually is a deterrent or people that they don't like about this field is, it's very technical. They feel like इसमें जाके coding करना पड़ेगा. And you have to go and learn these tools and techniques. So what I tell them is, forget about the coding. It's all about logic. It's all about thinking about different business problems, different logical business problems, and figuring out how to attack them. Coding is just a mechanism to solve it at the end. But as long as you are logical, you are analytical minded, you are thinking about a variety of different things, everything else is very easy. So should not be deterred by that. Just focus on the logic part. So again, I can draw many charts, right? Half of them will be useless because you put 2 lines, which is meaningless. But unless you paint an island that is really beautiful, you don't know what's going on in the ocean, right? So that's what I would say.
Amazing. So if I understand correctly, essentially one need to have a very logical mindset. That's the key as far as this data science is concerned, if I understand correctly.
Absolutely.
And apart from that, then, student, as you mentioned briefly, will have to learn Excel, MS Excel, which seems to be the foundation, which seems to be the basis for data analysis. And then we spoke briefly about certain coding part. So for a non-science background student who might be interested in data sciences from commerce background, or even sometimes now these days even arts, humanities students are thinking of data science. Would it be possible for them to undergo this entire process, applying the logical mind, then excelling in MS Excel, and then learning the coding languages? And which coding languages they will have to learn?
Absolutely. The fear of coding should just go away now.
Okay.
Most of, and I'll give you an example. You might read in newspaper, Cognizant has their earnings today, TCS, everybody's earnings are out. Everybody's saying, my forecast for revenue is decreasing. And the reason is, coding, they were selling a lot of these services, consulting jobs, and a lot of this was coding. Now, because of ChatGPT, because of how coding has become so damn easy, that I think you have to learn the logic part of coding, but you don't have to learn the semantics. When I was coding about 25 years back, if you missed a semicolon or a comma, the entire code would crash. And that part is all gone now. All these tools that are available now can take care of coding. So to your question, I would encourage everybody to take up this course, this program, and anybody can take it. It's because as long as you're logical minded, as long as you are thinking about how a business might operate, everything else can be learned, and everything else is easy to pick up. You have to have that insight and that drive to pick up new things. If today, and I'll give you another example, what coding languages are good for today, 5 years back they weren't even in existence, and I don't know 5 years from now whether they'll be in existence.
Very true.
So unless you are very interested in the logic and coding, you just learn to pick up as you go. You have to be updated, absolutely. But I can answer the other part of the question. Python is great. It's like English, so it's like English language. You're just writing code in English language. R is open source. That's also good. Even if you don't learn it, you can do a couple of courses in Coursera and you'll be through. So I think, I know this question comes up a lot, and I'm very passionately against trying to say you have to be a coder, because now if you want to make a career in data engineering, absolutely, you should figure out a very good way to, get into coding with that.
Understood. Interesting. So AI has come to the rescue of all the beginners in this field also.
100%.
And one need not be a coder or a professional coder to be the data scientist.
Absolutely.
The basics, of course, have to be in place. Wonderful. Okay, so typically when a student completes this degree program on data science, which is typically 3 years or 4 years degree program, what could be the entry-level profile the student should aim at? And secondly, how the career progression would happen? We have heard about, entry-level profile like data, then lead data analyst, first data analyst. So could you explain to our viewers that what would be the joining profile and how career could progress?
So why don't I start before the joining, right? Like, what should you do in the first 4 years as you are learning?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll be the first to admit I did not do all of these things. But when we look for new profiles now, everybody is doing it. And I'll try and explain it in a couple of different ways. The jobs are becoming more and more connecting business to data to technology versus just being a universal, a very deep data person, right? So if that is the job you're aiming for, you should make sure that you have taken some projects work, some work with some company that is actually you're taught how to think from a business perspective, taught how to think from a data perspective, and you're not just coming in with hey, I have all these skills in a degree.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is very important, is communication. Figuring out how you communicate with about what you're learning, about what you're thinking about, right? So if you have done these two things, then a data scientist role is great for you. But if you haven't, then you'll miss out on your communication interview. You'll miss out on your interview about setting up a project. And that is very important these days. So once you start with data scientist and you're able to prove that, hey, I can set up a business problem. I can then solve the business problem using data. I'm giving good recommendations. I'm able to handle a project on my own. You then turn into a lead data scientist, and then you turn into a manager who can drive a bunch of these data scientists. Then it's just how you progress in your career is all dependent on how complex a project that you can deliver. Can you think about a extremely complex business problem that at a business level, whole company is thinking about, or you're thinking about a business problem that marketing is thinking. So that's how you progress. I hope I answered the question.
Absolutely, crystal clear. So you emphasized on a lot of project-based learning during the learning phase during the degree program. That would give that wonderful practical exposure to the students of handling the projects in the basic level, and then they can sharpen their skills. One, you said communication is extremely important. Understanding of the overall business scenario, then diagnosing the problem, dissecting the problem, and then probably communicating it back in the form of the proposed solution is the whole process. So, and I can connect the dots. You said in the beginning that the person should have a very good logical mindset, and now that logical mindset getting finally converted into excellent communication of his logical flow of thinking. Wow, Rahul sir, it's amazing. Absolutely, you brought complete clarity, to our students. Now, especially after COVID, we have experienced the concept of work from home, and this generation is sometimes I see they are fond of working from home. So when we talk about this profile, a data analyst or lead data analyst, I think the career opportunities are world over. Not necessarily they are restricted to one particular city. So could you throw some light on this aspect, that how a student who has got a degree in data science and has got all these logical thinking abilities, excellent communication skills, basics of coding, that mindset, how he or she can grab the global career opportunities? Would it be possible for them, or they have to focus on their city where they live, or they have to migrate maybe?
So this is a very interesting conundrum and question. As a role, what I've seen is part of it is technical, which you can do yourself, and it's okay. But a big part of it, and as you grow in your career, it becomes bigger and bigger, is communication, and even more important is influencing. Now, you cannot influence someone without really understanding what I call the why behind the why, right? Someone might be asking you the question, why did you do this? But there is some other question behind that and some other logical question. And unless you are sometimes with the person in the room, it's difficult to figure that out.
True that, true.
But your other part of the question was, look, I mean, it's global, yes. Most of the work that I end up doing is for US clients, but sitting in India, it's fine, right? And aspiration-wise, absolutely. The world is looking for talent who can take this three parts of the problem that I talked about: data engineering, visualization, strategy consulting, and you'll see more and more jobs that are more like, I want someone who can do everything. All three things, right? So if you're passionate about it, and if you're very interested in learning and having an impact, then I think the career opportunities are worldwide in my mind, sitting anywhere. Now, eventually you should move near to the people who you have to influence, whichever way you cut it, right? So it's either, if you're a global company and the head office is in London, you probably have to go to London to have an influence. But as a starting point, you can sit anywhere in the world and still be okay.
Oh, great. So it means there is a lot of mobility involved into that. There is a lot of flexibility involved into that. That's really fantastic. Thank you, Rahul sir, for being here today with us. And हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, हमारे जो दर्शक हैं, उन्होंने अभी तक ये तो समझ लिया होगा इस बात को कि डेटा का ही राज आने वाले कई साल में रहने वाला है, and they will have to be really good in terms of this sunrise field of data science. So thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Any final message from your side to our viewers before we close this podcast?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. You said it's a sunrise field, and I agree with you. This field has been around for more than 100 years. We started by scientists doing testing and coming to you and saying, yes, this pharmaceutical or this pill is okay for you to have. Now it's testing everywhere. So if you're passionate about something and this is the field for you, I think this field is only going to grow and grow a lot. So please, welcoming everybody to join this.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rahul sir, and our academic director sir, for this wonderful, wonderful discussion. At MG Science Institute, we believe to prepare our students for real world with relevant skills, and data science is the future of this momentum. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the more podcast episodes from MG Science. And do not forget to take your personalized counseling from MG Science Institute for BS Data Science and Analytics. Thank you.